102.7. You go so the Jumedia bro live on Facebook. Which me I show no to be or Pure FM TV. Okay. And your guest in the studio here, Aminu Shadow. Or a Black Stars Warfare Officer. Opposition what team manager. Team manager, yeah. Black Stars team manager. That's a general manager for Dreams, oh yes. And now representing Dreams or okay, all right. Congress. It's about me and Congress and is a coy and a whole seminar. And of course, I'm in the shadow behind baby Freeba. I'm in the shadow. So Dreams on the administrative manager for Dreams, and a general manager for Dreams, and I just say, of course, you know, said there's some mistake. And I Obi, so Aminu, so behind baby Freeba.
Oh, but Aminu is still yeah. No, I see very open guy, open-minded guy.
Oh, they make count
say yeah, we industry mu.
Only said and say Udiba petition be there.
Say yeah, we industry mu. Yes, we yeah boa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hondi yesika any knowledge and I dey boa industry nti. One am free ba.
Okay.
As an investor in the development of football in Ghana.
So I was a man for Sotia say you were a former journalist.
Aye.
Oh yes.
He's still a journalist.
Oh okay, you are still okay.
Journalist,
a writer with soccernet.com some years back. I mean Shadow. Oh fantastic guy.
Well, Maxwell, some of you have a call.
Yeah,
I know I want my Congress.
Yeah, but I didn't see your way today.
I'm watching.
I'm prepared.
I'm off for a document too.
It was all lovely there.
And so, how would you say it?
Yeah, me way part.
I know some of them go in two capacities.
Yes,
some can't go and be journalist.
Yes.
And a chief go a Congress member.
Sir? Yes.
I
represent a big man be power. Yes, now.
Hey.
Yes, I represent their North.
How did that happen?
Campus representation.
I said representation, and you say Obi can say
I said, oh yeah, me no
or Troy there.
Yeah.
Where sure?
Yeah, find out.
What's checking minutes?
I check it.
What's checking minutes? Because
Chairman Mincha Abdul
Salam.
Yeah, Neo DBS Mincha.
And now storming out of
Congress. On the attention, but it was here by Basso.
Oh, the attention in No, it wasn't.
But you said you should. I have Matthew Yanus and Chufuni be on social media. And now the Salam not a member of Congress.
Really?
And now not a Congress member. He came to Congress as an observer.
Okay. Okay.
And now new to be as a community representing new to be as. Yes. And Abdul Salam Bar as an observer. Oh, yeah, not yet, you know.
Okay.
And I'll storm me out. Now the storming out in Yanson say, acquire campaign. So I say Congress nearby. Now acquire campaign. And I'll do this. I'll say and you're sorry, I'll be here. It's your work. Minim but Shadow and general impressions Congress. Let's say.
Oh, sir, Congress was minimum there meeting my expectations. I didn't expect anything extraordinary because a BB extraordinary by Congress more. See the modus operandi and I say na Congress operating. So will be can outro call the general secretary at table about Congress. And as at time now, yeah, best started Congress. Now, Obia and Tro Bibia in opposition to any of the issues are now laid down as agenda for Congress. And for me, I wasn't expecting anything extraordinary. The course and one and me expecting a course so. So I think nothing extraordinary. Nothing extraordinary.
I'm saying, Obi, Shadow, you want to know one thing.
I am sir.
Well, nothing extraordinary, but then a lot of points among for raise here and some appear in regards to every president in the speech. It was a long one, and buses for teams, Division 1 and Women's Premier Leagues, RFAs. Sky or the Babitiomo, F.N. Babitiomo in cancer. Of course, and he's the president. If you say acquire more like a campaign message, way to win the election before the election.
Oh, sir, when you are when you're incumbent, you're very, very inevitable. Say when you are put into a position to give account, especially when you are projecting about things also which is also part of giving account now. Being as campaign, so I won't begrudge people, but won't say are there any fact? We share the statement of accounts, now share the performance of the Football Association over the years. So we won't say in terms of revenue generation. Now in football, no, generating revenue, you have to apply it to the members, to the interest of the membership. And if indeed going to the new phase, no, the administration intends what normal generating in football, no, or more directing it towards membership, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. A member fan say a campaign is their right. To be honest with you, because at the end of the day, no more we have put them into place of responsibility, and also determine how to use resources now more generated from the activities, no. And I think we should applications and almost say apply funds now, and as a revenue now generating now. It's addressing several sectors or industry coaching the juvenile football the Division 1 Women's League ni Premier League obia there and these are things that goes to the heart of operations our clubs no mo they be massive neka say football is be one you hear a lot of investment are so far to come into football so be addressing the challenges of football, but unfortunately we are not in the position to bring in the big figures, no. So also offer nyansa kwen bi so now rather bringing down consistently the operational cost of clubs. It's also another way of relieving and creating wealth for members, because say operational cost at 10 cedis. Now when you be best sponsor 2 cedis, which means you are better off 2 cedis. What applies out 2 cedis in another way. It will share the busing system now more Division 1, which is a big problem. Transportation, one major problem in Division 1, how to transport teams for matches in the Adeno. Bus neb and Ebeboa already know I say fuel now you mark for subsidies so in the idea. So I think it's just in line with their administration year over the years, trying to find ways to bring it down the operational cost of class and some resources in there to be free now to me are concentrating in other areas. So I think
how now funded, because I mean 30 buses and of course pickups and Subemo for RFs.
Yeah. No, but he told you how. Said they are in discussion with Abai, say what caps can buy, and he made it clear. Scanner Mnyambai, they are still scanner Ebeba, so they are in discussion with authorities. And at least if they won't take on, no, they no about applying some of these things. He mentioned it quite clearly. No, but per indications, no, it's looking very, very positive. But of course, some of them then you have to find other ways to fund these things. And I won't doubt administration, because we share the performance of I may refer to the financial statement. Just pay a critical look at the financial statement, especially in revenue generation. Share the baby free buy from an expose how badly we named himself the football brand was, how difficult it was to sell the brand football. Yeah. And I call this a lot of industries. It was difficult to even raise funds in the corporate world. But Oshe, throughout this period, consistently, significant improvement in revenue. Significant. It be to be about 200% increase in revenue. So it means Oma show the capacity to raise the revenue. And I wouldn't doubt the person say so. I wouldn't doubt based on track record. If you are looking at the financial statements.
Well, me name the same view of Congress kakra, but there were some babishim. Cut administration.
Yes.
Fine. If the final year in the first term.
Yes.
And China elections.
Yes.
Would you say? So in fact, Kasabi is it overachieved?
Yes.
It didn't go well with a lot of people.
Yes. I understand why it won't go down with a lot of people. But if you are within the industry, now share the circumstances under which Oba and in the context in which Oka say, and as a man focus overachieved now, it be an better one massacre. First and foremost, like I told you, how did Kurt administration come into being? It came at a time now. Football, you stop football, and as was there by. And I always say that anything that happens, we stopped organized football in this country for almost 2 years, it was bound to have an effect on us. Even time now, more continuity, they are having problems. How much more? You stop football at that point in time. You call to normalization. And then the global pandemic of COVID so by. So based on this context, any circumstances now, or running football, the difficult, challenging times, and you look at the deliverables, the ultimate deliver, especially, again, I refer you to the financial statement, because the health, one key pillar of a health of an institution, the financial status, it's a clear picture of how they are doing. And if you look at these circumstances, I wouldn't fault people for saying, say, of course, I might have a different view, but critically, and look at the challenges that were faced at that point in time. Still, we are still in the challenges. So, struggle say free challenges. You can say they've done well. And in fact, regardless of anybody who succeeded that regime, was bound to face these challenges anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the personality. Almost standing for election, anybody who had won the election was definitely going to face this challenge. The only difference is that how well would the person would have performed based on the capacity and in Kofona or Jumano. And on that score, I think they've done really, really well.
Well, okay, about the key indicators, of course, organization and finances are very important. But your elite competition, your national teams. You look and say national teams, I'm not going under 20 there now. You lose to Burkina Faso, under 23, under 20, under 17, the Chan team, the Black Stars. Obviously, they say Ghana coaching grounds or the standard of play and also conform. It becomes difficult for anybody to accept.
Yeah.
Say, also pretend you over football.
Yeah.
Football, no, to the ordinary man,
yeah.
How do you
because to the ordinary man no the interest in soccer not TV here 90 minutes no share the results no e be a crowd be on share ball no but the mere fast what the results we lose no interest wunya there but anything sir football na acquire agriculture you first have to prepare the grounds you prepare the grounds ubenya stamps need there mbo you have to prepare the grounds you have to get the seedlings now, you have to water it, also fertilize it. It be a waste nibane compete with the nutrients of the plants. Now we free home. It's a process. So now why in the kakakasa could do do harvesting period, then you harvest. I wouldn't make say regardless of the winning election, that's under 3 years ago, based on circumstances free mobano. You were bound to have challenges. Now, in development, also there, especially from Baby Ifibano, you have challenges. You have to play football for almost 2 years. You think it won't have an effect on us? Mikano, in my estimation, in my honest estimation.
But football is stopping, baby.
Oh, Debbie, no compete no minimum so
COVID now can
now COVID-18 COVID-19 so
18 years normalization.
Yes, Anas exposition. And you all know it says Anas is bringing that the foundation so it's going to be difficult for you to achieve. In fact, in my estimation, the mere fact that we are even getting the opportunity to compete with these people, for me, as a catalyzer growth, when you're into policy formulation, they are now all tracking the mere fact that we are even having the opportunity to compete with these people, for me, it's a big plus because maybe and the football could do, and the period Ninyamaya shared the economy, drew our level, even before the Anas exposition, we were not doing well. We didn't qualify for Chan for 3 editions. And at 20, we couldn't qualify for some time. And at 17, women's game, we had challenges. So even in times of normalization, Anas, we're having challenges. How much more time you're breaking football over a period? Into a better key time. There was a yetuni I've said, Nyamane here, a bebuama, Yakob back to being our best, and yes, Anyamana na investments ne how we invest in the revenue agency. Is it going to the right training of coaches? You identify a problem. You're referring same no saying how are we organizing our juvenile football near there? Juvenile football now 6 years can in many districts. We are playing juvenile competition now. Now we are even playing national juvenile competitions, which over 10 years now and boy. So I was say a track if I say Nyamana ehia say I was say ye na every 10 years back to being our best now. And yes, na. For me, I think we are doing it, but we need even more. We should your infrastructure already develop here players. Wow, we need to. In fact, even at the elite level, no. And same factor, me club is culpable in this area. We need to make even more effort. I will say more investment in a bear. And when we hear more in football, we come out of it. I think that's where the focus should now. Share results. You will always be making a mistake because over the years there be a bit of hypocrisy. I'm not focusing development. 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 It's not about winning. You need to develop. When you go to the senior side, now we win it. But when we are losing at the junior side, now the boys football. Yes, and I'm saying it's as a result of and they be top no. Even under 23 years or more failing to qualify for Olympic Games no. And about 6 players were from under 17. Zito first as under 17. Omo to me qualify for AFCON no. 6. Omo under 20 now Moji 2020 no. 6 of them out of 23 players they selected 5 years ago for that under 17 no. 4 years ago and for under 76 of them have made it to the Black Meteors. Show me here, make it to the senior side, which is a big plans. And then the essence of development, results no so yeah. In development, when your results now it boost your confidence in the year. But when the results are not coming, no, am I damping your hopes no too much? Since Americano, I was also said, Yamane Hiana, I was say, oh yeah, a better return football back to our level, no, and oh yes, Anyamana. Oh yes, Anyamana. In time, you will get it.
Elite competition, I ball Ghana, and I know who run a club into.
Yeah.
Players are, for lack of a better word, the mama in Kapi crown. The players in Tuomo Campo, they do our best 8 months going into Tuomoka. Standard of play in our Premier League is a all-time low. What can we officiating? We are having our challenges, but yeah, Kenny, you know. And what I felt was missing, and unless maybe I escaped me, the every president didn't touch on betting because it seems to be a problem creeping into our game.
Okay.
And he was silent on it. And no matter how big your FA is, your domestic competition is what makes you big.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I won't say in that period or deliver to Congress no, and yet be have football no bet me account.
But I never football.
Again, I'll go back to in Shishebe. Are we doing the necessary things here? Ebeke no. Yeah, baby, because integrity officer by no. We've had issues. I'm not for criticizing the work of the integrity officer. I'm not to me borrow address room, edgy phones near there. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but at least something has been done. If it's not enough, I will say shemukina. Me feel say it's not enough. I will say shemukina. Because Sena was a higher power, and because it's linked also not only with remuneration, but if the person you understand. But we can also draw some links. You can also drop some links to remuneration, and share that. But you see, the problem here I always say is that on say remuneration is a function of productivity, and before a player bebo at that level no was signing contract too. There's supposed to be some negotiations because me I sign players or them I mean negotiation with some players and person signing. I negotiate with them. No matter how low it was a negotiation and OJ Pina said Obeji now signing. And at least on my part, I know that I'm honoring my side. I don't know about other clubs. I'm not there. So
but sir, there should be a cap because you see, Sir Kramer come dinner.
Yes.
What the
I agree with you. I agree with you. Sentinel discussions are still ongoing on formulating standard contract. Minimum wage into football. But I have my issues with that because it has to be in consonance with the national employment law. So minimum wage, Ghana, sebi 2 cedis a day. Now, hikey. Football there to acquire 10 cities. There's a conflict there somewhere because you can't go because football cannot produce more than. Yes,
international standard.
No, it's by international standard. Ghana so your standard. You can't produce. You can't give what you don't produce. But you have to live with it.
Yeah, because Ghana then you see the trust. Administrators are making more money than football.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No. Ojam.
True.
No. Do you know what?
And the RFA chairman are going to make 4,000 Ghana cedi a month.
But do you know
how many Premier League players make 4,000?
You see, that's the problem. Do you know the cost of the RFA chairman? I even cry for them. Do you know the district, for instance, maybe they are in Pania, Greater Accra. Invite them, speak to them.
Oh, they might have their
district, and why just any this car? Do you know me said you, and I'm not that wealthy near the end. Do you know the portion of my resources, personal resources, are me spending on football? You have no idea. You see, there's this misconception because if a win for Biba, now administrator Kotoka Munochiawa, then the assertion is that footballers cannot diverting to own games. But you're making losses all this one. People don't know. You see, there's a big misconception. Say administrators are enriching themselves as against players.
ESCO members are making like 4,000.
Yes.
Premier League player is not making. Most Premier League players are not making even 2,000.
Sir.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Meaning dreams have to put jobless, guys.
Yes. Say one say who share remuneration. You're only looking at basic salary. Okay. Basic average salary or dream says be 800 cedis, 800 cedis. That's basic. Bonuses in bio. Sign on fee in bio. Onto any cost of accommodation, onto any utilities. So at the end of the day, me and Meiji, let's say 2,000. The player is even any more than me based on performance.
Based on performance,
because in a month, bonus 300 cedis for home matches, 500 cedis away matches. No, we need in a month, or we need all those 4 matches. Bonus alone, basic name buy, the sign on fee in buy. And apart from that, bottom sky home as a way of encouraging good performance.
You think that's a good practice?
I'm not saying it's the best and a good practice. It can be better, but what I'm saying is you can't give what you don't have. We have to look at ways and means. You bet me, football na very very productive, very resourceful for more football. Then they'll have the ability to do what? To also give more remuneration. But what trying to say, the investments are not being made in the clubs, but then you are expecting them to pay. It becomes a difficulty. Then the clubs who are not able to pay will not be in business. They want to become a football.
Bound to me for bonuses and salaries. In the sense that
it's part of remuneration.
Imagine, say, any part of
benefit.
Just like the person taking 4,000 Ghana cedi a month.
Yes.
When you had the opportunity to go to a tournament, per diem, so it makes up for the same thing. It as clubs, because domestic league, I
agree.
Your game,
I agree. I'm not running away from the fact say your domestic game, it leaves more to be desired. I agree with you totally. Mame Chow said we have peculiar problems. Yes, I was saying my look, there's a survey about 90% of clubs all over the world don't use facilities that belong to them. They belong to the state. 90%. In fact, more than 90%. Into less than 10%, they use more resources or more stadium facilities. So it tells you that even in the line of infrastructure, clubs all over the world don't have the capacity or infrastructure unless using government agencies near there. Look at our state of infrastructure. Apart from the 4 stadiums, Minukra, we know they need serious renovation. What's the level of our infrastructure? Investment now through NYA to bring out these 10 multi-purpose sports centers. They have the potential to even change the face of the game. I'm saying. So we have challenges that even goes beyond us. Yes.
You need challenges when
yes.
But you do baby any refugee challenges.
Okay.
Because some what challenges we now say you man individual $100,000 for going to the World Cup. Then you don't look like someone who has a problem.
I agree with you. Sir, if you have serious challenges like this, to be honest with you, I've not seen the fact of the matter. Say, weigh 100,000. I agree with you. Then we need to relook at these things. Then I agree with you. We need to look as a people now. I will say, we look how we spend win for Biba, how the expenditure maybe I spending because we need serious investment in these areas. For instance, 100,000 now. Okay, say to me, Chemukra the 50,000 are committed to even investing in these areas. So I agree with you. Me who's our concerns and in principle I agree with you that. Okay. I agree.
Obi tries. Me man Max on some kakra.
Obia went to me on my Jumedian CBI and Congress no na general overview. No, I mean, as I say, I know so I mean, macho men are no more. I don't understand macho men. Private security about therefore. Oh, no me national security.
Macho builders. I some security.
Yes, as security.
You don't know, maybe plain clothes police. Me, I don't know.
Okay, they could plain clothes.
They could be me. I don't know
because the security was very tight.
Sir.
Oh yes, when I got there, the number of motorbikes, police motorbikes I saw.
Motorbikes.
Yes,
but security was tight. But
very.
That's a good thing.
No, I've not said it's bad.
No,
I'm making a general observation about events. You know, it was a Congress that was
okay.
The chances of causing mayhem was very slim.
We are sure until it happens. Once the security reaches there, until the security reach happens, no.
Maybe executive Congress members could do. Who share macho men or mugustes and so
we are trying to find money from World Cup Scano to buy buses and all those things for clubs. They mean that we can get money to pump into our domestic league.
I agree.
Yeah.
I better my life, I better for some of the clubs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you say one thing that we are also not admitting is
I don't think they say
Premier League has there been improvement? We have to also be fair to the fact.
Has there been improvement?
Have you forgotten say Kromhano? You bought GFA administration, you bought Quadrica League, sponsorship less league. In fact, in Question Antichi's statement to the police, time now, and as exposed by, or say one of the motivation for his trip to Dubai was the fact that Bonichi said he need sponsorship. So when he heard of the opportunity of sponsorship, any kind of a man motivation, man, call Dubai to try and negotiate for a sponsorship for the FA. So it was a major problem. And now here Kasano. Yebo Controller League na. I'm not saying say you were heaven. I'm not saying say scanner ever from sponsorship to Sumaya is okay, we are satisfied. But we've made some progress. And we need to identify this progress I am making.
Progress. Kwakula BC, please tell Aminu Shadow that talking about revenue without looking at expenditure is wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
They go hand in hand. True. In any case, how much of the revenue is retained in the financial year and carried over the following year? He should rather focus on net operating income and not just revenue. His analysis is misleading.
Okay. I appreciate. One say GFA and profit making organization. In fact, football entities, aside from clubs, some private entities, they are not federations.
But there are some federations who are making a lot of money.
No, but the money the money goes back to members. No, when it's even our status. When we realize and we make windfall, no, it belongs to the members of the association. Aside with operating costs, and that's exactly what this administration has sought to do. Into Oshe, in fact, Oshe, again, I refer to the financial Oshe expenditure and maybe expenditure do one running competitions and even capacity building. They are high on our expenditure list. So that's what I'm saying, that revenue now we're realizing and the necessary investment now are you making the right investment with time, with the benefit of time, it will bring you back to level now. I think we are doing it, but we are not even doing more because we need more of that. Back to being our best. So I agree with him in principle. Say yes, you have to look at expenditure. Now expenditure we share the areas, blocks now spending one. You see that competitions, for instance, capacity building, very, very high. But
the difficulty here in this sort of analysis, they say, you call as media, you call as observers. Yeah. We do not have copies of the financial statements.
You should.
We should have.
It wasn't made available.
I'm of the view. Yes, I'm of the view.
Even the FA president's speech should have been.
Absolutely, the agenda, everything should be available.
Because it's part of the communication of the FA.
Absolutely.
If this information are readily available, at least the layman
copy of send it.
I say, of course, I'll send it.
Because
as a congressman, as Congress demands. But I feel say football now, we are doing it with the public. Yes, but I know. Say I doing the same direction. We are doing with the public, and it's part of parcel of why attendance on so for, because they don't feel part of the administration of football. They are very much a key. England, send almost a share ball, even ball because they feel an obligation, a personal obligation to be in it because they feel part of the administration of their organization.
Yeah.
I think maybe certain making this vital information very accessible to the public key.
Because in article item 7, item 13. Item 13 now and 7 now.
Yes,
you know, and I'm sure it's either a lot of people did not read the agenda.
Sometimes to feedback,
yeah.
So getting this kind of feedback,
they should make it
football for no. Obi, you will surprise you to know that a lot of people do not even know that the standing orders of Congress have changed.
Yeah.
And they be counter motions.
Yes.
The standing order and they say, you throw the Congress document now the agenda now counter you put it into writing.
Absolutely.
Now the common general secretary.
Absolutely.
It's the general secretary back Congress ground now or the agenda into no we do also counter. You know.
Yeah.
Now they vote about
exactly. Yeah.
Congress won him. And you do baby crown.
Can fight our case now.
Can fight
suspension.
Ashgold suspension.
Sorry, Ashgold suspension. Sorry.
Ashgold suspension. And once in Bibraba.
Yeah.
Sir, why did Prosper Kwa allow Alaji Guza to raise a counter?
Yes, because
counter motion.
You can't use the back door to raise a counter motion.
Yeah.
And they say no one soon some Bibraba say Congress did not have
the requisite number
to
pass that
It had. The laws are clear on such issues.
To be honest with you,
the laws are very clear.
Interpretation. I'm not
the laws are very, very clear.
Sometimes I defer to more.
So check it. Article 17 of the FA regulations. My interest article 17. I say the Congress is responsible for suspending a member. The Executive Council may, however, temporarily suspend a member. In the case of Ashgold, temporarily suspend that seriously or repeatedly offensive or violent that violates its obligation as a member. And in this case, the NT suspend the Ashgold or the association call a civil court, and that is in violation of its own obligations. So suspensions are the job of Congress. But many amount Chapman it's a bit complex, but that is the basic truth. In terms of the counter motion Alaji Rezi and idea. You're wrong. Enisanka, General Secretary, Ejitum. But the vote was right. The voting process. Because we have to satisfy a certain constitutional requirements. For example, in the case of Yeyi Ketiye Sokreku as president of the FA, I call first round, second round, and I call third round. Third round, not Georgia Free any Nana Amponsano Eyomo Efrim. Kebetime ka say, oh, those two other candidates are out of the contest. By unanimous decision, Yaya Ket, president of the FA. But we went through the voting process. Emaninya 50+1. Into our requirement, now was here 12. And into that, it was 67 in favor of Ashgold suspension, 17 against, total of 84. As at the time of vote, now members 124 members.
I don't know. Be abstaining you.
Be abstaining.
Because I don't know.
You can't abstain. No, but in this case, it's a case of yes or no.
Matiwase, yes. Say when it comes to raising of hands, public virtually voting, as Anna say, send you it will be abstaining. Because something pregnant.
Abstention numbers, we have calculation based on voting for the motion and voting against the week. You
can easily show that.
Yes.
Now, abstaining.
Is it
significant effect on
because the same round who say never be raised say now almost constitute 2/3 of Congress.
Musumati counter challenge.
For some runner will be mad at
counter argument.
So this is the point. As at the time of the vote of the suspension, near 124 members who have 50% to form the quorum for the vote. 50% of delegates present. So that makes it 124. You find 62 members present. Even Chama who calculate vote yes, no 84.
Way beyond that.
So they've gone beyond that 50% to form the quorum to vote.
But it says
you need three quarters. So Chairman 84 divided by 4 will give you 21. 21 times 3 will give you 63. 63 is less than 67. so they have the majority.
Okay.
But in there should
explanations.
Yeah, so even in the first place, there should be no counter motion at all. Our general secretary also, but unsex counter motion. No, nana man kwa ne di kan rezi. Nana man kwa atina se no na large sign eba biom. Na general minister na general secretary on percep de bebechre. No, so okay, walaji kasawie. And he went back to the right process because chairman Obin to me fan kwasha agenda muse. President Kurtz should extend his stay by 10 years. Next agenda mu. The mere fact so be a counter motion, doesn't mean say automatically Kurtz to get the 10 years. So there are certain decisions of the FA. Congress has to vote, be it extra or ordinary.
Then what do you make of Scandinavian filing fees near, because I know so it was not put to a vote.
Yes, it wasn't. There was no counter motion.
So okay, but there was a member moved for it to be accepted and will be seconded.
Yes, so there was no counter motion. Ka General Secretary Becca said, "Obi the opposition idea biaba into yen discuss it. Na yen too soon tontu. But obi ankashi eno munyina jitum." My worry is I suspect a good majority of Congress members among kind agenda
they don't even know. And one is
so chairman
maybe they agree. Everybody said they agree.
But my point is,
I know it's possible now.
Congress told them to catch you
I'm tempted to a bit agree with Biaboka and say, also we have a situation at the Congress now members Congress no, then they are speaking to the media on things on Mangaza at the Congress no. I say omonim the ekoso.
Exactly.
That's why I'm a bit tempted, but ebia so mischief or honum. There's a possibility because I don't understand. Me Congress document by over 2 weeks ago. No, the things that I agree with, I didn't even raise the counter. Oh, I didn't see anything.
I don't know because I'm not saying me you many as a from here. Me can say me chum say I feel say football administrators should get qualified managers or administrative managers to represent them, especially Congress. We say, say you vote in our house, who go vote you, they are no problem. But when it comes to ideas, because I don't know, I realize that DB. What is Obu Hadi when Timpa, but then Kenjia? Obu Answa or Congress, and I say, on now where that standing orders have changed. On now where. Because from the way, say, of course, FIFA Congress, they will TVC. Papa no go. Papa no go. Because Fanisenka, Omodia Dieba, na club be counter here. Obe put into right.
Yes.
Not come on.
Yes.
But if you almost say
it's in the case of Ash Gold saying the Horner minim say champion or lose interest in the whole project. Me assure say Congress members in Saka documents no 10 clear days before Congress no. Obi ba letting say suspension of Ash Gold agenda no.
Yes.
So then some other bet me influences some other clubs to write a counter motion to the general secretary because look, Chairman Nura say 17 votes are Ash Gold nya and sympathy votes. But Brenna for Ashanti region because Ash Gold a prominent club.
Yeah.
And then Ash Gold but the proper process I had be challenge at the end. No more refi.
Now me Ash Gold.
So how is it possible
that a champion got no young one you Anglo Gold for
oh say more members of that.
Debbie and no now Educate Ghana a friend say MPP delegates 100 delegate influencer delegates. No, what I'm saying the thing belongs to you, Anglo Gold. It's your club
property.
And no more mobi. And a problem about you be suspending from the FA. Congress document about until one person and to me and say, let me find a way, talk to some of the clubs. Now me say I'm vote against mommy. Even if I have to get a lawyer to write a counter proposal, I mean fuck me my club you frontier. Or was a club new?
Oh, so the person Alaji Bruiser front.
And I've a new one to be say how much your counter proposal. Then you lobby members of Congress.
Yeah.
Say at the normal the bar. My obisonia he say suspension and suspending for at least one season no before this Congress no some temporary suspension no and one year the punishment. Yes, I accept you on back. a Congress decision.
Do you know where your position is difficult? Because as we speak now, GFA is in court with Ashgold.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where the problem. And insofar as that case no court, it remains a threat to football.
Matiwas.
You bet me, Ochina, for instance, say you sorry now you can say Ashgold for a withdraw case no as part of mitigation. I'll be the first to lead the charge for extraordinary Congress to admit them back. Okay. Because the mere fact that it's in the civil court remains a threat to any football no because injunction because we don't take football matters to the ordinary court because of the tendencies for it to hurt football, any running of football.
But in this case where our feelings system no.
So go through. Say internet you want this committee in cast near there. Say people have gone through the system, have had rulings. Even so rulings now anchor. That's why we have those mechanisms. Say about security redress. Sporting entities. Because we know what the football issue echo out of the football jurisdiction echo the normal law court. It has the potential of hurting investments. That's why baby I'm imaging now. Into Ochina, for instance, me say that case has been withdrawn. I'll be the first to lead the charge. In fact, I'll put in applications and seek for signatures in here for us to call extraordinary Congress to bring them back. Because football club here, yours is to run football. The two teams involved in that big issue, IBS scandal, no, Interlies, they are playing football.
Yeah.
They are playing football, Anka. They are in fact on the verge. Case is they're on the verge of qualifying to Division 1. So why not Ashgold? But because they've sought to address football issues outside the football.
And why even doing that? And the Anglo Gold for Ahmed Sam as a Omuchim.
And go see their team need their go. See Ashgold their go.
Say not just apart from the law court there no. Anyway, okay.
Chairman, I'm saying Nipa Bebre now so Maxwell Obi I share opinion promises or make here $80,000 for Division 1. Now my $80,000 to Division 1 league clubs. $1 so. Sorry, Ghana cedis 80. Sorry, said this time dollars. Send your $80. You know, 80,000 Ghana cedis. If you are giving 80,000 Ghana cedis to Division 1 league clubs, why can't the FA also generate 200,000 Ghana cedis for the Premier League clubs?
In which area?
So 80,000 is to pushing them.
I said Premier League no so no there are other incentives are they pushing Premier League. For instance, Ubebo season now you are entitled to I think minimum of $55,000 broadcast rights and other
Division 1 so broadcast rights or no so
Division 1 is only broadcast rights.
Max some more money
Division 1 need broadcast rights.
But more sponsors.
There's Access Bank.
No,
30,000.
Start times deal for virtually
no,
Ghana
it was
football.
for FA Cup and then the Premier League. It was very clear. It was for
really?
FA Cup. It was for the FA Cup. Division 1 in count.
Is it Division 1 and Max TV for the
no, that Max TV in Division 1 though. GFA Facebook Live no and no much chacha.
Division 1 any TV rights.
It's be a pure FM. More Bibia.
Yeah, free.
And say arrangement. Who say Bibia na nyeska o. Arrangement. Because airtime no value.
No, but I'm for concerns on Murasia. I'm for campaign in Yano.
Yeah.
And they say, for instance, they say RFU or 20 votes.
Yes.
Can't I didn't
Sir.
Now be able to become 4,000.
What if more interest is super Ochina say okay, we are 2 mark or 20% and 20%.
Even that report said it's likely say executive council members.
And yeah, no kwameba. Bosses near your motor anyone went no, I'm for raise concerns kaka. No. And say it looks like the do run like I say acquire campaign message. A message to get a second term no. And I say then Ramu engage the government about getting money to buy buses and you know. You didn't mention the Premier League. You didn't mention Premier League goes government my bet 2 million Premier League clubs.
Maybe you are not privy, but there's a lot of engagement on various levels on several interventions for members being Premier League several. Just that things have not materialized.
But
there's several engagements.
But I agree. Members. Your elite competition is the Premier League.
The Premier League are members are also members. Yes. Don't also forget that the Premier League, we are still in the process of going autonomous. Remember that. Remember that. Next year. In fact, there's a call for a board meeting. Paid up members also cause a meeting. Also, me check say otherwise
it will change BB.
Of course. Yes. Now share.
Going autonomous.
It won't be easy. It's not about just going autonomous. Going autonomous comes with something. Actually, a rule book, no. Rule book for autonomous. We didn't even go through the rule book. Or just highlights. Rule book is 200 and something pages. Who can come one? I was I fear for some of the clubs, to be honest with you, but that's what we want.
Can you do it? Rule book.
Why not?
Can you do it?
Why not?
Club licensing. Club licensing.
Now
pitch.
I agree. I agree. I agree with you. Until this season, so we are looking for ways. Change either we put in more investment or on, and that's why we also I'm for boy. Bobo it serves as entertainment, and yes, we cry entertainment or something for the people. What kind of support are we receiving from the local government or more MC near their honor? See all these things. The internet, European club.
You don't make the people feel part of the game. When you don't make them feel part, you don't expect them to do anything. Most of them are association football for a fisherman. Fisherman for now.
But that's the truth. Fisherman for Mukoto Abana Bibisa. Fisher folks no.
By mistake, a woman is saying. Fisherman for an association. Amunko ye bibi anko jiska wa buy home fa enko.
Oh, who told you? Premise for do you know the kind of subsidy that goes into
Fishermen Association, fishermen.
You don't know.
Fishermen in national tournament.
National tournament.
Sir,
fishermen
it's only $100,000. You think it's only Omoko international tournament support from Abana?
The reason why Abana supported, for instance, farmers.
Yes.
Farmers in Bibian say, produce, it comes back to the ordinary people.
Yes.
Because they are virtually feeding us.
Yes.
It's almost the other fishermen for you.
Yes.
But would you say you have a product you are selling?
Yes.
A product now was selling. And you nip now funding your read. And on our tongue. Also say or no. Now some more can be
into medical culture. Say one thing. Okay. Administration. Also more year. Their interactions with the public, because football the public
no, but in the case of Dreams FC, you train in Accra, right? But playing the
I said we had
you expect to say football
operational 2 seasons ago we moved the team camp Echo they lived there and everything, but it also brought about certain challenges. If you say it wasn't good,
no, but for a football club that's based in the you have to train in the
but there's no facility. I bet me to know the way they are training.
And then the man can say Nipanema because Nipano from Monday to Saturday, Sunday,
me, I've always have the Manchester United. They train within Manchester. They don't train outside Manchester. The players have girlfriends. They mingle with their community. It's even found in literature. It's true. Part of the reason why Dreams FC, for instance, senior supporters and say we don't live within the community, a natural habitat. I've made this argument several times. Dreams FC for me, Newtown, Manway, Nima Enclave, the nearest stadium, and I say facility, Kaokudi, and Kaokudi is standard. We will not have challenges mobilizing fans, but we play 100 kilometers away from your core fan base. Okay, granted, your core, what kind of engagement? Instead, Dreams FC first season in the Premier League, no, the attendance now was losing now. Why? Because the level of community engagement, we are not doing it now. It's part of the reason. So it's something management I will say. So the Amokano, so
the FA in itself.
So the FA, that's why I agree with you.
Itself.
Things like financial statement, also with the public, and you have to share it with them to also enjoy that confidence and sometimes give information.
Yeah.
Criticism they are there into your operation. Let them know. Let them feel part of it. There's a bit of a gap there, and the gap seems
a bit of a gap.
Oh, they be. Let me have.
Can I say league clubs be as Nations League? Yes. Super League.
Yes.
Manchester United English are for there. Ombecha say ya ni dey hun dey okobo. Wa hun support to be a guy. Say the Nigeria Alaja can be keep out from. Oh. But Obepa supporters nature because him say Manchester is Manchester because of his support base.
Yes.
Ghana has him say you run the national teams, you run our league. But when it is made to look like the Football Association doesn't care what people say, as long as some members don't go because I'm ready or somebody consider nipper and say how would they feel about this?
If you read Sir Blatter in resignation time now in the statement, he said he has the support of the football people or more about
yes.
But we're realizing that he doesn't have the support
of the fans.
So it's true. You need to have football. No, it's a dominant football. It's the public. I say a lot of interventions never, but most of criticizing constructive that.
Crazy.
Things are not. One thing I want to draw your attention to: this is not a perfect regime. In fact, there cannot be a perfect regime. In development, you make mistakes. He admitted to mistakes. The Congress, no.
Yeah.
He admitted, said, maybe upon. In fact, when you engage him upon hindsight and benefit of tenure away, if he's given an opportunity, he will do things differently. It's part of development. So, but sometimes criticism say embark in the right form of language. Even people who is targeted to because I call it so you have to also package it well in such a way say amount for the sending ones so many super and then say in fact a lot of things are FNA crano has been as a result of criticism last time you call AFCON 2019 the backlash from photo shoot nearby has it happened again?
No,
because people listen. There are several examples. I met me a site amount for 80 in the idea, but we need support also. We need support.
Chama, Enra address there was like a State of the Nations address. I no ayana enimdwa woman normal. In fact, President Ketankasa no there no a course no nya de foforo so utie last year Congress na also no
full of goodies.
Full of goodies.
Yes. Was it achieved?
Yeah.
Some of them have been achieved.
Well.
In fact, most of them.
No, that is what
football boots.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. For Premier League club. Give me money. Don't buy me boots.
We have given you money. You don't know it yet.
No.
If we talk 30 boots are more players, now Obia Bravo 30 boots. What does it mean? It means kind of the better boots. You can apply it elsewhere.
No, but even the cost of the boots. No, I mean, what was the cost of the boots? Now, there are reports of 350 euro per boot.
Okay, it's part of the reason. It's part of communication. We'll say we communicate. And also, our sponsor of our national team, Puma, and Ediom Coding that will say as part of your sponsorship, these are some of the good things. So it takes people with good leadership, any argument, negotiation argument, and then about as part of sponsoring the national team, if you could please supply us boots. Now, the only cost I mean say about to the FA clearing airport in the but is there?
Free, yeah, fine. But what I'm saying
that is it.
Is it free?
I mean, is it free?
Say financial statement. Okay, me the bema. Shemu say you won't be for boots or no. In fact, yesterday I had an interview from George Free who is alluding to this fact. Was it? Of course, it's from the Soul Association. You find creative ways to bring in things. Say, to me first come back, bringing things. Bringing operational costs of clubs down. Goal sponsorship no, and BBAO. But me bought division last season with Kasina Nankana, 15,000 worth of fuel. It helped a lot. And if you any clubs in Kasa, it has saved me 15,000. Let me apply that 15,000 in other areas. For instance, let me have to up allowances for my players. Also, if you can't bring in the big millions that is required now, also finance would better take the operating cost of clubs. No, and as you go along, say more resources, but now after there, and then you say you to me to boot. Obia to be to say a top boot credit that. But what it means is that Sikana made the back top boot, I can use that, apply that resources in other areas are air critical.
And it's what a lot of people, even those who criticize you,
yes,
the administration, talks about the fact that looks like my idea with women's football and the lower divisions. More idea. Yes. But the main competition that is going to be the face, that is the face of Ghana football. And clubs, I mean, coach is saying I can't watch them referee, no one winning. And they say betting, a holiday, betting, and Zaruya away, betting. And once I go for betting company, as I was players numbers, and almost any players.
How is that help? How is that inimical to?
That is. First of all, you expose your players to third party.
Okay.
say a betting company has all the contact numbers of all the Premier League members.
The contacts are not with the betting company. Say, I think General Secretary has explained them several times. The betting company,
no.
There's more payment a year. A friend say payment, and your betting company per se.
Or no betting company or on a branch or financial. Or bet be another
more payment platform the money goes into that payment platform.
But it's the same bet, and then it's given it's the same model company.
Okay, but okay. Okay, I get. In fact, personally, I've had causes to raise certain issues. In fact, even promotion angle, I've said it openly. But me feel say, like I always say, if you are promoting a product, there's no better way to promote a product than clubs now more promoting at the end in the first place. The clubs are the first and very, very effective way to promote football. So into a football ODA promoting league now, you must be directed to the clubs. I've said this several times, but when we get the opportunity, your board meeting at the you see that's where it matters most. And yeah, you better say
so say that's the whole can say you many in Majatum, Javin Mobile Autonomous League and
no, it's part of the rule book.
For next year. No, Autonomous in next year. You have a league
and I say for clubs no or more, especially more reading rule book no. They should be very because you have both pressure ye Autonomous League no per rule book no kicking now. As I sit here no, even my club no, there are various things I mean you should say unqualified.
So unqualified
Mobi.
That's what we Division 1.
That one the rule book also will make provision for it.
Okay.
Chairman,
but
another issue.
But you think that the integrity officer, in terms of handling betting, no, yeah, do a good job. In fact, the FA in itself.
There's more to be done. That's the truth. And we share the kind of resources now at the disposal of the FA. No, it's not enough. You can't have one integrity officer now if I say, but for instance, betting. It's not enough. Even the clubs, no, we need integrity officers amongst the clubs to check even at the lower level. And see, international say we also know the ideas and our procedure was FI, but lack of resources. We don't have the resources.
But say when now because revenue generation be channel because the integrity of the game, your uncertainty of results.
Say again, you keep growing a continuous process and your events. You keep Oshemukina kaka. For instance, if there's one staff, me won't say let me appoint another people.
And I'm get the police involved. That's CID.
But who said they are not involved?
Really?
You have no idea. You see, that's a. Okay.
Now, match. I mean,
it's part of the reasons why I agree to say the FA every information be my public. Maybe the integrity should be here. To tell you, any collaborative efforts now or these security agents, maybe you should be here. I shouldn't be the one.
But leave the boy integrity officer and Chubia for betting there.
Well, so say Chubia.
One imagine.
That's why we need to bring the integrity officer here.
That much you also one imagine.
And I'm saying that's why I have to bring the integrity officer here. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes.
League about last season, Jai.
Hey,
matches no.
Maybe also what information pa. Me who say what information pa. I don't know why.
That be not one Obiafro. Match one over 1-1 green.
Yeah.
And your prediction. How to folk as a club have to institute the committees there on very own place. We go back to almost maybe point is at the very moment as an association. Mobile is hard and crown because it's your brand.
That's what I'm saying.
And you want to protect
it. That's what I'm saying. Mejitu say probably we are not communicating enough because meaning say a lot of work is going on behind the scenes. Because I get a chance to engage the integrity officer. Me call in the office. I also get concerned by some of Nyamamboya Muri's. Me so me tiepa na me call Jack. Yes, say no. I share me documents about an amount or two. That's what I'm saying that the FA should make it. Also, they to know so all my information and flow and microphone say it's not as if the amoka na yenti ana yenye things are being done. But if you keep it in the dark, nobody will know.
Obi. Shadow, I'm saying Bibi, how can what to was
oh, yeah, Bibi, I'm G2 of course, we'll make a point. Good point.
I mean, President came about more leaky information, and I think he took a swipe at so-called opposition leaders, and that President can say President is on record to have said, say, in his power now, or the keys to all documents. But he's not willing to also expose other people, and that's in the interest of the association. Omo take screenshots, I say for the very first time, we have a very good number of parliamentarians our Congress.
Say the security agencies will act.
Yes, I know. Our package. No, I made the question. No, ever. Who are those leaking the information?
I don't know.
And what information are they leaking?
Meaning, I'm not service also. He, as his, by virtue of his position as president of the association, he's in possession. Menya JFA president, so I can't be in possession. Maybe I need to ask him. Menya quite ending come after the Congress. On say, yeah, now. And to be called back that menya, maybe son, so if you share with me, and maybe if it's also appropriate to share it with the general public, non-fifi more, maybe.
No, but leakage is normal. And I then I was a president. I then I was a president. You're worried.
I say normal.
Normal. For example, budget of the Black Stars. I was a public document. I then I was a leaky Black Star budget. Then also President Kokan was
some of these things must be there in the open for us to discuss. I can't afford there. But if it's not there, and also it's not the leakage that's the problem. It's not a leakage, but maybe how it is even communicated. The obe leaking, the Jumadio no obedino. Ebi an attack and say me yes, but based on information already put here, now acquire before air half football.
So why my document now available?
And only asem no
people find ways.
And I mean to say if we find a way to communicate effectively, no, all these things will be kept.
Or there's something you're hiding.
No, what then I'll make because then you Congress, all these things are there. I'll share it with you anyway. So what are you hiding?
But so a member of the football, an official of a member of the association, and team manager of the Black. You are not even aware how much money people took at the World Cup. How much?
No, I wasn't there.
Why should we all be there before we get this information?
It comes back to the point again. If we do communication better now, all these things would ember. And so also DSY president also any administration say, okay, having identified this problem, how we say why don't you find a way to make this information easily accessible? Yes, you kept that if you have nothing to hide, who should say leakage of documents also?
Yes,
for instance, say petition. Me president due to time now executive chairman. I on very very vital personal documents. I am that. For instance, how can third parties have possession of the passport renewal form or something like that? I'm told it's part of the attachment. It's not right.
No, but so your petition, I was all the documents.
Yes, but Charlie, personal also no. Okay. But ultimately, if the FA finds a way to communicate better, all these things will be kept. In my opinion.
And no minister can say, I'm say players no patriotic. Oh yeah, Black Stars team manager. Say minister of state and make his comments now. Say bibi shewa minister ne ho. Or say aban ye infrastructure aban but players no commitments no. FA ni show mo patriotism. Oh, feeling be say where your staying to the Black Stars is the focus is on money and not on being patriotic enough.
On this.
Where the name has been you?
No, the woman say media me who at this Black Stars level.
Black Stars.
Media me who there as at least for the Black Stars in there. That's I can speak effectively. Me who any situation. In fact, there are situations even during this match short center promises be about even for failure. But I'm for you'll be surprised. A lot of promises. They are overdue, but they continue to do their work. So it doesn't suggest to me say amount for no, but we've had stories are buying the amount for community up to now. So and the so I can only speak for Diamehun say there are things amount for Sankai or Black Stars players inclusive Sankai, but they are working. Ebiono so who will be suggested to the opposite. And you know now bisana me sure so bet me am our sign information.
Some players now in negotiation to
I'm not sweeping the all another. Yes, based on the position also about into contact with Yama Bakumino suggest to him say sir the all no into no na bisana me sure so bet my sign information.
Now then within the circles of the FA who about national team from so you see a Black Stars head coach and the assistant Kwani Tiomuka Omoma Kenya and then Samuel Bodu e Cote d'Ivoire penny kurani no
ba ye koma RF for budget 4,000
I don't be married for 4,000
bosses baba muncho mo kai
kangamu mai kanu krenche ho de bia
no me gas on 4,000
de bia
but muncho mo kai say bosses here but pickups
right
RF for so mo to aba
enya na se person to aba
Samuel Bodu to aba
national team coach so to aba
coach to aba
difference and even on to aba cry here number no. And the reason I walk on is true. The entire cut down, so I say 48 clubs and money are the votes in the dozen. So they compare to the top. At top, and the majority of those during their premier. Young fans said they are a way successful somewhat in life.
As you know, 36 votes.
Yes.
36 votes will go no 2.
Yeah.
Or no 2.
Yeah. And a straw honor.
And say Esco for so. Oh, says go for some of brothers.
Yeah.
It had the Esco will take about 10 votes. Oh, now Premier League vote 2 Fanso just say Heart of Lions have a Premier League club. Ninjas and Randy. Ati say 2. Premier for no. And they do not 2 Division 1 so they do be so Division 1 48 no. Not the other 20 no so.
Any man.
Not the man only like.
Now bet Premier. Because Premier, what it means is that majority of the owners, no, they are in good standing. Into a more baby or more.
No more votes, Baba.
Yeah, but also Ankasa now be.
Sabo.
Yes.
Oh.
But before that, major way the issue of the leaks, no. Company bia and as organization bia they are we strong your secret. It's a boss here why hey yen to reveal a secret to other station. It is wrong. Anybody obey no either sacked or an say
trade secrecy.
Yes. Into now see a swear oath of secrecy. And to say you vote as an executive member as a part of an organization. You work for the organization, you don't work for somebody outside. Intend you'll be yes a source of worry. So complaining the other thing is Abdusalam issue, the entire very important. Yes, it be a comic way name, but we need to learn a lot from that. Also, say Penny a read this speech. We look at a bit about the past, what is there in the present, then we also forecast for the future. That is what you put together and that speech now be complete. Yes, people feel like the future need dominate here, which I agree. But the Kwame Abdusalam fast so no very bad and he needs to and yes so ye
Abdusalam didn't grad the
also the entire American say so no kran anka ogina ho once why na just obey secure re-election chairman san obey where it's a prophecy san obey and anybody also supporting will do that but them not the no ye nka any problem so all agree but they be anka ye we na in an interview now ordinate views that so I wasn't happy because I thought say no na ye more disciplined also we a leader
well no cry na so yeah parliament na minority for to me boycott
exactly
oh it's we no yam fan say presidential speech and Nana Akufo-Addo kasa
yeah
and John Mahama na esi edun ketia ne Fifi Kwete no mutete ho and Fifi Kwete say no nsemo Akufo-Addo keka no dey say yeah. Also
basically
is right.
I am a decision that parliamentarians or more taking, and they feel like this decision will not work. But he was talking about the speech not making, which I'm not menkas or you're wrong. But I think that Senia I didn't hear.
But say yeah, Obi agenda for his privilege.
He's the only one who did that. Next
time, Obi give you account of leadership. Obviously, also catch out the wire.
Yeah, that's how the speech goes.
But that has been part of our Congress since.
Premier League, if we I
was coming to address that. You see, I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
You can't do one way and say the national team belongs to one.
The government.
Ghana for.
When we present the interest of Ghana for no. Election to political position.
Ghana for you. National team of South Africa. Maybe institution national team no so no
someone generating enough revenue, bet me attracts anyamano, the responsibility will fall on Wamo. Okay. Association. One thing you don't know, the association pays some sort of allowance to these coaches.
Some sort of allowance.
Yes. Per diems.
Any per diems. Periodic no, yet minimum allowance.
Say.
Minimum the amount, no, but I know they are giving allowance. It's not enough. I will say your mom contract, your mom salary in the idea.
Oh, the man contract.
So why is that? So why is that we agree? Say, for instance, Black Queen's coach no was here. Black Queen's coach no can.
Yes. My idea pa.
Yes.
Yes.
No, the problem with football is football problems no. Edosu. So want to me and solving problems in within a short period of time.
Players national team there.
As
the man to coaches ni combat envelopes I'm on players na go.
I was say as a nation I was say when I identify say a problem, what are we doing as a nation? Yeah, football here inclusive of the GF, you know. What are we doing? FNE by taking care of Black Queen's coach for the first time in the history of the football. Meaning pose there.
I mean FA yeah. Sorry me mabet now chain. Na say also busun bia me mo muska. Na me busun me muska ne ma untimi didi nya no.
No, but the FA
say money ska mo beto passes ni out of pickups.
Yes.
It also mo hekwa bia.
But the FA fans
5,000 a month crowd number more.
Yeah, but the FA fans the national teams which you are aware of. For instance, Omo camp no. Before tournament time now, maybe 2 weeks and now 1 week before the tournament. Ekanya is born by the FA.
Pram then.
Yes.
Now pram no.
When was that time called pram?
Pram because actually.
Good. I will encourage you. I will say call pram. Also call. No, I encourage you to go to the pram. Sad stories now yet say about snakes in Sanyama. Any mosquitoes in Nyama now. Say a Black Queen's coach or Bronica or that pram.
It is a blast out to my mother.
Minka say Omodru Tale or met me at the Minka say.
Oh, but not President Kai. No, President Kai. So move see 30
exactly.
Accommodation.
Yet investment na make no. Yet to me yes investment ni year. A bedroom maybe we don't have to rely on hotels. Wow.
Shadow. Financial statements no pacho biomna kind auditor's opinion no I mean what the auditor said about the because auditor's opinion
yes sir chairman
I'm in a shadow
yeah chairman
one day back am yes say Ghana for person be who pa and say you see as an FA the FA president or his people more influence player selections into the national teams. And I'm sure you have heard this thing.
Yes.
Your own man. When I say your own man, Udim say Sika Kono is one of your own. Sika Kono openly came to say the squad na influence none one thing. Oh, Sika Kono is on.
Tape now.
Sika Kono.
On cars
Sika Kono.
Say you influence in the selection and
yes.
What tape now the bomb
so chief producer now Mary tape you know mama I can't you know good I can't exhibit petition no audio no
Congress
do the petition now or the choir Sika Kono then was captain.
Even Darren Boateng
is on record to have said that. Only coach Kwesi Appiah on the Sika Kono friend.
Yes, a third party reported speech usually mean person because usually doesn't represent the fact of the issue. So what is here?
Today what you want?
OBC say.
That you know OBC or TB.
No TB. Na me ni hobby. Who hobby?
Oh, but send your cancer dey you has to be obi na obi.
Yeah,
so also ban be man that. And so there be as one money me.
When you go to the law court no, you first anyama we nye djuma o. To deal with the facts. You have to deal with the facts.
See, I mean, so those who want to that Sika Kono say.
Me say waka say your influence selection. My example, one example, now 2 examples to buttress the point.
Oh, tape there in some.
Me to be honest with you.
No more Derek Boateng there no so aba. Ni nyina no e cray ube tie.
No problem.
Auditors opinion on Saka. My who the auditors ne kafa musika semu. Na I'm say kakra bi o was my who.
You gave us a clean bill.
Yes,
more fire. But the author was there yesterday.
More fire.
Hey, Ghana Football Association.
That's the internet network. You have to download. These are the documents.
Okay.
Oh, Chama yemfa we nhweme.
Davi maninka onka we player selection.
You see, me I always try not to be or be part of me, I run a football club. The coach now my employer no on the final decision maker on the obe selecting any the obebo. However, no, I'm able to chip in. For instance, Obia frame is I say player be APA or games no more bono.
Yeah.
Or frame you. I'm facilitating for the player to be seen by my coach. So coach fan or not the neboa, do you consider it as influence?
But in the case of CK Akono, or so to me a presentation or presented 30-man squad. Or banana
squad.
You forgotten that issue.
No, Henry
Cry. Yes.
Perhaps CK was no fit to being the national team coach and
no, he presents the squad.
How can a coach who presents his squad now how is that possible?
How? Henry Boakwa now say. So these are the but no better no.
Into no into say this no honorable no press conference no. It was done for him.
Yes, some 2, 3, 4, 5 names.
Then I dare say that he wasn't even qualified to be the coach of the national team.
Granted,
in the first place.
Granted.
It's not. It can't be possible.
On qualified, but how about the act of?
And I say, can come. Say who coach? Who bet now? Na obi managers. Aye list amawa. Then you shouldn't be there in the first place. Because me Chris Uti me sometimes no me to me a suggestion man. Say I think we any say does that amount to influence? I don't think it amounts to influence. So the list by as coach, not as management team, and as penny for no more beside say, oh, in our opinion, we feel say based on statistics and I say based on certain consideration, this person should have been in place. Now we do 2 more. Then later on you come and say it's influence, then it's not correct. But if you stand on your ground and say, in spite of Musaje Sinamudiabano, still these are the people. I don't think managers make us say you shouldn't do it. Because then they know you are the decision maker. Ask them for later. If only what would you? And say, would you do now or more change? Didn't say now, we say or more Canada. Then the person is not fit for purpose. It's as clear as that. Because suggestions there, they will give suggestions. Always. Me, the president of the association, Minina Ejuma on one club. We've been in meetings, even with CK Nankasa as coach. In meetings, we've had disagreement on player selections. At the end of the day, CK goes and he selects his players. So I can't imagine, say, at this larger scale, such a thing will happen. It can never happen. But you see, my whole trend be, say, yeah, national team, and now yeah, share quota. This number, every clubs say this number. I think is very dangerous. Because we've been in this country where we've had national team represented by a certain group of clubs, and I say clubs we do only free honor.
Okay,
but we didn't question it.
Almost selection was based on merit.
How do you know?
But sometimes, for example,
how do you say that this time around any merit?
I mean, person me bubo body by your players be or your team ni mo so more the mono.
So you have to ask the coach. Until you have opportunity now, coach, and now we be saying, Ebia or play certain role man, I won't him. Oh, me, I don't want that to be presumptuous. I mean, their courses are fresh setting players, even from dreams that I've had problems with. I've even called the coach. I don't think why a good selection. He's not in good form. But ultimately, Mami say only good form, but or play role back. You say.
So please, no.
But NSR say I drop it. Me so Casina. Me nominated players back or yeah drop you.
No, but don't you think say Obi okay?
Coach from say Charlie. So fair enough.
And I mean, okay, youth teams all over the world in Europe. Also, they be more about football, which I'm not against. But the current trends, yes, currently we shift to the academies and youth league. Okay. Until be a youth league, all the premiership clubs, everyone with youth teams. Dreams were more kotoko hearts were more. So they also play the league just like you play. Say be on the boss Saturday and I'm about Sunday. So in selecting players for the youth national teams, you know, we go get them. We know the best players who are there, and we get a chunk of them. Don't you think, sir? And also best solve the problem of Abia Woka say majority of the players are coming from one side that they are being Abia represented, Nana. And what is the plan? I'm more to play because baby I'll be all over the world at football develop. Yeah, both youth league. But yeah, the baby I'm more about coach. The coach is not bad, but the issue is this. Me Maxwell, me are great, me or coach team. Me need to know about coaching. What is the surety that I'll give them the basics? Until they move to academies and youth team. So what you people are doing about playing the youth league?
And I am the passer is some of the things that which is being addressed by this administration. Investment, you have Ochina documents na bebe out no.
Okay.
It will tell us. In fact, there are even previous publication by the FIA spelling out the number of youth team coaches and now juvenile coaches are training. Before then, no, omo training course na there no. They had no sort of qualification. And I say bibisa and now training bia and I say krata BHS you have gone through some sort of training out of interest. And of their training no, and of their football no. But now no, we are getting to a regime where youth team cry be share the kind of the various rules our team no. Enti who the number of training I course. In fact, even Mazwa is nyama enter by interest. Now we are trying to formalize nyama with this no over time no. We have continuous training this need continuous investment in this area. Things will definitely get better because they will be more equipped with better information. They will be exposed to better best practices in the idea. Technology so be idea. All these things forms part of the capacity building and air course. And the outcome there is a problem that I've been coaching and because I'm scouting is part of coaching. And they say coaching about form it presupposes the scouting is right there. About form into who training now build the capacity in this regard. Obviously over a period of time things will improve. And I want into
Player selection.
And now say consistently.
Because I've not seen it. And I'm a good example. Sika Kono, good example. Sika Kono was coach of Dreams FC for 3 years. 4 years actually.
But Sika Kono they are also team voice and say that Bibian Waka or team voice answer. Sika Kono or say or yes selection na or my chocho biaka.
And I make sure say if Sika Kono is saying that say or yes selection na chocho biaka then he wasn't fit to be in the national team position in the first place. But that's why I don't want to believe Zoka.
But okay say the final press conference the final press conference of Otoado. Okay say the next coach of the Black Stars should be given the freedom to operate. I was there.
The Swiss press conference, I'm sure all name is squad. No, he was even thanking the authorities for giving him the freedom.
No, but on the final press conference, no, when they asked him what he.
Now the media you need to see.
Because who said Charlie,
your position.
I have to deal with the fact too.
But Sika Kono the end there.
And I may just say Sika Kasa, I don't believe in it. No. Sika Kasa, I don't believe Sika will make. First and foremost, I don't believe Sika will make a comment say, "Oh yes, squad no," and I did become. I don't believe that in the first place. No, yes, Adia. Then Sika is too fit to be the national team coach. But how can you be the national team coach now? Yes, selection. I'm out for the Biaka. Who agree now? How is that possible?
Otoado cried the Kakra sauce.
Say there.
So okay, say the next coach should be given the freedom to operate.
He also enjoy from the freedom. Onoasuka said he thanks the administration for giving him all the free encouragement to work. Okay, and now one kind.
So you touch on. Oh, touch.
And you must watch as a gun high one. Coaches and players from no influence whatsoever from FA.
That's why I gave a scenario. Because I have had issues.
Your kind of recommendation, but they can interfere. In fact, they can.
What is the interference?
Pushing players on coaches.
I don't think it happens because me
CKC.
On my example, say, I don't believe this CK will say CK Becca Bibisa. I don't believe. Honest are here.
Okay, I have friend who say I catch.
I'm not holding. Charlie, sometimes you have to hold them to strict proof. And yes, some can try, no more trials. I will say here. Can you give an example? In one instance, you impose player be man, Oh.
Me person me body na enya fair to the player.
Sir.
So wa mo player.
Player ben. Bo.
Midfielder ya de bia no ojina mo Lomote de bia ojina mo.
When na select no.
Na CK.
What be CK dey just select no.
No, see mo na.
Oh, how? Na CK na nkasa me recommend the player man no catch him say Charlie enye yi. O catch him. It's a fact. So how can it be imposed upon? Minjin say
it's 50,000 Ghana cedis for East Club for youth team. No, that's right. More money get concern the modern trend and they are there abaso. More making sure say more pay other fans the account near the youth league. Because if the youth league is on goal, yes. Yeah, because almost every country we have more youth league. But hankwa de yeba most coats Debbie. Yeah, we've gone past.
I mean, youth league
no. A difference room. Colts and get properly structured. To say who's a youth league, about national league, it be at 23, it be at 19 to that point. We have England under 19 or Mujia. Majority of them they bought the youth league. It to select them no a very easy say Spain, then they push them. It be a premier and the age no near the.
What I agree with you say, men can say you're born Hanum, but if the idea on your structure and in terms of resources,
we might not get the results. And again, there's this thing Chairman per se, the every president made it say there was serious coaching problems in this country. Yeah. He did not just say problems, he serious way. He knows serious problems and he has serious fixes. And say coaching no the product of the football able. It is the reason I will say 23 and 20 Galaxy on Black Stars in the crime said who said man so we know. And mona more share ye Japan so am I as Ghanaians. Amoye the FA, we agree. But ye masters now, then ye benefiter, we still have problems with you guys. And today no more nya that's a more overachieve. Because me will perimeters be now talk about COVID by which I agree. But the same COVID, no much more finances grow is not a fact. My idea. Now then a COVID in their finances to me grow, but technically national teams saying it, clubs saying it, referees saying it. So it means that, but it means that more serious works to do. It's the issue of overachieving. They say they are mutual. Because again, say we have overachieved that. Yes, seriously, a lot for the people to also benefit. Some more overachieve. A couple football people say they salaries of their friends are regional way. Football, do way man. Said the masses also enjoy. Enjoyment. They say our clubs, our national teams will be performing. There is no way anymore. In terms of the overachievement, some more paper.
Okay.
Now mo put in a lot of work because ye masters na national teams no so say more am no ye nya ba I some the masase am say so mami na me asase me dia me nya benefit now ka so overachieve wan hwe ntokwa na beba. I hope say you understand the argument and say you need to put in a lot of work na yen so yen benefit our grounds because they will rate our national teams na clubs na kono enye best so he needs an say na ye kai no. We don't know how much I will in finance, but because of the success in the near future. So in that area too, some money call seriously because yes, a bit me hard. Maybe it's a minister and the chairman or be gracie the occasion, but maybe if you say a man oh yeah, because Adia Moye honey take it a sign away. Do you know what? He only came to also elaborate the problems we have. But I was expecting as the Minister of State and in Calbetre, what the government need more yet to solve the problem.
Okay, say infrastructure. Identify 6 by the end of the year, no.
Identify, but infrastructure that is wrong. Nothing be occurs infrastructure investment alone. Enough, which I agree, but these are the major stakes because Ghana occurs enough. There's an indirect law in it.
Well, I say, I support any form of government intervention directly to our clubs to assist their operations, but on condition that the recipients, that's the clubs, present their audited financial statements previous 3 years, 2 projected utilization of the funds and commitment to present audited financial statements thereafter. This will instill some discipline and professionalism. As I tell the gentleman to be careful with our emotions. He wants to tell us through you all. He wants to tell us through you all the. He wants to tell us all the things he wishes, but not ready to accept yours. Okay. Also, so can't the man so we here there. Sika, you know, me who voices now actually, but
this is everywhere. We've already discussed it. It's everywhere. There were players. You know, everybody has. If I ask you to choose players, then even you choose players that I don't want. You know. So there was this situation, but I had to make a final. It was always a challenge, a situation where it was challenging, very, very challenging. It was always challenging. There was always a problem in that aspect.
About food table na mirror. Food table na mirror.
Yeah, you make us say.
Oh, me say food table na mirror. Oh,
unim text back now kaya no. There are various frameworks. You bet me employer. States can be involved in the running of football. Any interference, system of FIFA, but still, many accounts, proper account. You can do from setting, for instance, setting up certain funds. For you to access these funds now, I will say who satisfy A, B, C, D. Would banner the Shemuna, what satisfies a park and I say BB why in the year and some of it accesses our fund. So I agree. There are set various frameworks. You let me buy, my football now. Okay.
Chairman, Mr. Auditor's opinion. I'm saying, your fan is auditor's opinion. I'm saying, I say we have audited the financial statements of the Ghana Football Association, which comprises the statement of financial position as at 30th June 2022 and the statement of comprehensive income statement of changes in equity and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes that the financial statements, including summary of significant accounting policies, are set out in pages 16 to 34. In our opinion, the financial statements of the Ghana Football Association present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the association as at 30th June 2022 and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and in manner required by the Companies Act at 992. So I'm saying
FIFA saw audits.
FIFA saw audits.
Just a few days ago.
Meaning say what reports Bikatelli. Yes, auditors audit boreholes. The cost of the minimum, the cost of the.
Of course.
How much is presented as? Because the report said borehole back here $5,000.
There's no standard cost for constructed borehole. There's no standard cost for constructed borehole. Borehole na nyese ukwa na constructed. If there are grounds na here constructed no, if you are finding drilling and now finding water.
But borehole there anywhere between $5,000.
Hey.
You know $5,000.
When I catch us a borehole.
It is rumored.
My financial statement, baby, I knew I had to say borehole back here $5,000.
No, saying.
Saying
Pacho Mami who total.
Catch him and can send me to home.
So yeah, okay.
I was saying that
because borehole $5,000 there.
Obianka will be say a unit cost of borehole $5,000. Gami Church said there's no standard cost. Eboa grounds are different. Eboa is more difficult to drill and find water. See other places. In Tebe possible say a certain area no price no form. A better member say a certain area and price no so.
Are you worried about leaks? Petitioner they call FIFA no not about the forgery and falsification. An association of friends and cronies that you know. President Niaba, President Wofasi, Washala.
I feel say or running out of ink because anka you can't or relationship or friends or confidants. He didn't even capture the full list.
So there's more.
Then
there's issue of conflict of interest.
That's how football is. Yeah, make catch it. That's how football.
No, says FIFA president Wofasi here.
Football no. We rely on the resources of more football industry.
Yes.
Any other expertise, any idea football.
No, correct.
A bed there, you find a link or a relationship between one person or the other. So Kwame is a very good friend of the FA president. I didn't see his name in there. It's exhaustive enough.
No, but
now FIFA, Matthias Grafstrom. Show him no. Deputy General Secretary who is in line to take over from Fatma Salmura. Him no.
Oh, your president
he used to be the chief of staff of the president.
No, that is fine. Maybe he's competent.
Even Fatma herself, do you know the link between Gianni and Fatma? Moshengo Omba Oye CAF General Secretary. Do you know the relation between the CAF the FIFA president and Onuana? You see, the
Omba is over two FIFA.
Eh?
Omba is over FIFA number 2.
You don't know the relationship.
In charge of
member associations.
Member associations.
Yeah, but I don't know the relationship.
But over 2, it's only over 2.
The American question say that allegation of friends and cronies, it doesn't wash because in football ecosystem, no. Who person draw links? You draw links. You draw the links.
For example, Ghana man soccer.
What I think most important is first and foremost, Nipa Krona Yedi Jumaje or Sefata said the man is the person qualified. If you satisfy that, Jumade no other is the person playing the role to the expectations of demands of Rona na. I think whether the people being placed in these positions, me Blasters manager, can come, do you think I qualify? Per their own name about team manager. If you think I don't qualify, you are free to say it. And I'm a Jumano so some say, or yeah, Jumano towards the expectations of the duty nana.
No, but president.
Run the same rule for them.
No, president.
Why are people running away from that rule?
Okay, president will
whether they are performing. And now you can perform.
Performance in there.
Under 17. Under 17. 6 of them made all the way.
Forget about the 6 of them. The team was the bad one. Team no making it to the under 20.
Was the bad one?
Still Team
under 20, the boy who say Akoja under 20. One day under 20 during this period.
Africa
now, you opportunity call work up here to me. One day for all the problems, the only glimmer of hope are EG trophy no. So can you say he doesn't deserve?
No, but I don't think so.
President, now I don't think the opportunity of the market. Coach is 2, not the same opportunity. Also,
said coach me.
Now coach Ben
because he excelled at under 20 level.
Under 17, under
17, 6 of these players out of players not selecting 6 of the players were at this under 23 tournament.
Forget about it.
And also, development. I don't know development.
Under 20.
Under person trophy. Under 20 trophy. Under 20 trophy.
Under 23 no bedroom 6 buy no. But there's 17 then or yeah.
I say 17 development. What is the essence of development? Say progression of talent from one place to another. And I say out of place don't select 6 have made it to the why he has done his work. He has done his work as a developer. And he has done his work as a developer. And what's the motive of development?
Kwala no more graduate year 90 Karima.
And yes, more graduate keke. Graduate under 20. Asa kwa under 20. Ebi Crabo Black Stars. Black Stars.
On development say. Plus me banya trade. Plus no form, so 6 players. After under 17, boy.
Ebi young boys.
None of them today on the development. They are playing for other clubs somewhere.
Of course. Of course, we free baby asa na wako baby na.
No, but what I'm saying is
even for unearthing this talent, it's even a plus. You know how difficult it is to unearth a talent. Who catch him say he doesn't deserve, and I'm just trying to give you examples why he deserves.
I'm telling you that you probably might have given him the job in the first place. Maybe I feel so deserve it. But another coach
say you are doing hypothetical analysis. Whereas evidence on the grounds contrary to their outcome.
Coaches
as an 17 coach is able to an talent progressive from under 17, under 20 to under 20, even to the Black Stars. That's number 1. Number 2. Upon all your problems here during this period, the performance of the national team, he's the only coach on my trophy or World Cup. Is it a fact? So on this basis, no, if you're in a managerial position, I will pay. On
the basis,
the track record of developing players, identifying and developing them to the highest level. No.
Unkaida.
No.
Unkaida.
So me kind no just want to me remind. Say remind Juma Ben.
How to be?
I can't have it.
I don't know, you know. Sounds on the talent to be fine.
Say be.
No till I'm for feel say obi oye close to me
because
I am the moment
because he's close to me, I'm able to track better. If your papa is WhatsApp situation, I'll be able to track his progress no so ye. Until obi oye close no so bet me the record about. You understand? But you see, it's very dangerous. And yes sir, the ekwa kusi say the moment you have a link or a relationship with somebody, no, whether the person qualifies or not, or you're competent, and this card is our quality. And the football also.
No, but in the case of Ghana soccer man, center for itself, board. But in the there's a man on the board who is a pastor.
No.
Or a cat near or needing what pastor.
Uncle list no pastor Bibi.
Me who pastor
Ben.
I check a list to pastor.
Me who graphics cry, me who pastor
or Ghana man soccer center or no board.
I mean shadow some of Kaunyantas or say normal because football no linked.
No, but link no chairman. It's a links. Oh,
but
many
the way the man for say a link. Yes. Dr. Gabriel because of
and yes, always I say let's not be hypocritical in analysis. Can come only me assign for some time. Because of my closeness with you, no, meaning qualities, any abilities, any capabilities, nyama obet me aye. Into me opportunity be now me share the attributes of that portfolio. Now me two abilities by virtue of my relationship with you, no. Why would not I recommend you if I know you can deliver? And indeed, who call also who deliver so and as and I'm just say football no. Yeah, football no.
It's if
the person is delivering the aspirations of the role no. Oh, me can't me. I'm just making a general statement. Oh, to boy, me make a general statement. Say, the mission say now go and audit their work, individual work.
Okay.
First and foremost, nipa no qualifier. So qualifier, you find issue. Say nipa no so. Jumadia ye man no.
Pastor Winifred Okreku. Pastor Winifred Okreku.
Into at the center.
President David Alifo.
I say my maker. Let me repeat it again. Or pastor.
David Alifo.
Or pastor.
David Mohammed.
Into what any qualifications in here, Mwana?
Pastor dear. Pastor dear.
Who qualifications?
Okay, I tell you for Siana. Aminu Shadow say, Dodo na man for complaints near Yinana. Moyano. Or say, Wajia tum say, Efino, Ewajuma P. Now, Wajuma was I tum say, Omunfa dodo on football fans no omuma close to you omama gab na kakraka and on some ben hodjuma said you na make okay and now say friends and cronies normal normal say
am I nya to this analysis
o say normal ntimo bia nya atwom
in the analysis of it
the analysis of it
because we menya preko because who opportunity will be na me share based on your capacity and qualification. Now me who say I think I can do the job based on relationship.
It you say
exactly. Exactly. O share na nejuma na say mama record. You disagree with me, but also disagreement based on what? Me mama KPIs of development. Development they say we be develop talent, I be progress,
only bless or identify talent.
You can't be there forever. Candidate cannot be there forever. You remove one HL. Me, maybe I can't be here forever. But before Kurt, Candidate had an appointment with the national team. And their merits.
What you ready?
Sir. Oh, say because projections revenue never ban any projections need be
okay. My told the inference here.
Okay, we see what there. Can we can yes sir.
Team Cat. Game changer.
And you're perfect.
Oh, of course.
We don't have a perfect situation.
Of course.
But you want to ne kaka. Ebe boase do na around most of the times mumma constructive criticism members are nenja attend the personal attack.
Oh, attend the
criticism na dey no ye befa e dey adwuma. Say na my example no. Ebi mo ha aba very very good even though ebo echi no ye dey adwuma ekọ enim. Nti sa na epe no football no yen kwa say no kan. And yesterday he admitted said he's made decisions anko ye. But with the benefit of time, ni hindsight, ni experience, no, if you have an opportunity to be mad, you don't make the same mistake. Moreno can say, the old mistakes, I pray to God to minimize it, but the new mistakes I always make. Yeah. It's part of development.
To make mistakes.
So far as nipa no nyanya men kwandi.
About mistakes. Okay.
Yes.
Aminu Shadow, a team manager for the Black Stars, on a general manager for Dreams FC, and a key member of Team Ket. Aha. You okay? All right. Younger Grace gift us. Doc. Now